I'm going to check the time here. I want to do things up right. We got 302.5 plus 9 equals 301.5. There we go. All right. Last time I suggested, or the time before, somewhere in there, that it wouldn't hurt if the President of the United States knew something about military strategy. In a certain way, he's got to be as smart at that stuff as the generals. How can he evaluate it? Otherwise, he listens to committees and so-called experts, and who knows who he listens to, and then they come in and they sell him their crazy idea about what's going to work in Afghanistan. And between them and the diplomats and the various people in finance who've all got their axes to grind, here we are 13 or 14 or 6,000 years into a war that should have been over in 18 months, that's not doing anything but making money for the war corporations. And, of course, causing problems, people getting killed and stuff, you know. Now, just a little while ago, I read on the news that the U.S. military is finally moving tanks into Afghanistan. Tanks. Been there 9 years or something, and they're putting tanks in there. Now, we've always had tanks. Is there something about them that's better? Well, it'd be interesting to read the strategic report, which explains why that move is a good move now when it wasn't a good move before. That would be an interesting conversation to be on a fly on the wall to hear. What's the situation in Afghanistan? Well, the main situation in Afghanistan is that it's physically a place not unlike Vietnam in a way, in which you might say typical battle strategies don't work. Now, to some degree, people talk about, well, it's a battle for the hearts and minds. Well, yeah, hearts and minds. Yeah. Whose hearts and minds, though? Well, supposedly, at least the argument sounds like it goes like this: we have an obligation to the Afghan people who are being crapped on by the Taliban, and we need to protect them from the Taliban. Now, in another video, I probably gave this idea out, but this is, this is just an old, crappy old guy who's watched too many movies on TV, probably. My solution to the situation in Afghanistan is to pull the United States military out of there. Now, the munitions people that still want to sell stuff, I say, fine. As we pull out of there, let's arm all of those people up to the hilt. Let's give weapons to the villagers that have to face down the Taliban that are better than the Taliban's got. Let's teach some of those folks how to run some of these tanks that we're going to send over there to blow up in the first place. Let's pick a side in what seems like a civil war and arm the hell out of one side of it. And then get out of the way and say, look, if you guys really don't want the Taliban and you want your own freedom, and these are basically your own people mixed in with a bunch of who knows what from Pakistan, then here's your stuff, duke it out with them. And We'll fly our drones around. We can do that. They don't got no drones, and we can shoot down anything they got that's like drones, and we can feed you all the best intelligence, you know. You hold a position in a village, and they start sneaking up on it, and we find a way electronically to help you. We can send you a little message, you know. Say, they're coming over that hill. You know, we even might bomb a few things. We could take a side in the Civil War. But we shouldn't be fighting it. We don't care enough. And if the Afghan people, if the villagers in the Afghan countryside don't care enough either, then they get what they deserve, just like people in the United States get what they deserve. You don't get involved and don't do the thing, you know, you pay the price for it. It's really kind of simple. It's always been that way. There's nothing new. This is as old as history, for God's sakes. It's older than history in a way. It's kind of scary older than history. That's Afghanistan. We keep the arms people happy because we're putting all this stuff over there. We get the American people happy because we get their kids out of the way and stop killing them over something stupid. And we leave it up to the people in place to decide which side of the fence they want to be on. Do they want to be run by the drug lords or by the Taliban or by these people who come in and, you know, and can dominate them because they got bullies and they got the guns? Well, my guess is the rule is like in the movie Ants, where the guy finally says, you know, there's more of us than there are of them with regard to the bullies. Okay? So my guess is there's more people in those villages that just want to be left alone, you know? And so we help them not be left alone, but we don't fight their fight for them. We don't even know how to pick the good guys from the bad guys. Think about it, you know? The villagers know who and which family went over to the Taliban side, or who and which family's been kissing up to the Pakistani intelligence. It's a similar kind of thing in Iraq. Should have been done a long time ago if we were going to go that way. You know, I mean, what do? We march into these places and we don't let any of the people who really care about the situation have arms to fight against the people that are trying to dominate them. And there's more of the people that don't have arms than there are of the people trying to dominate them. Are you getting the point yet? It's really a weird world. But there are some common sense things we can do. Okay? And that's just a couple military ideas from an old fart who doesn't have anything better to do than to sit around but think about things. That's why I'm called the foolish philosopher. But maybe, you know, maybe there's some wisdom in there. I got some more stuff to say. Bet you can hardly wait.